Good morning and welcome to the second annual Collegiate Alternative Investment Summit. My name is Nicholas Lara and I am the chairman of this year's event. The speakers with us today have accumulated a great wealth of knowledge and have established expertise, having worked within the alternative space for many years. Mitigating risks and maximizing returns is a part of why these individuals have become so successful and well-respected business leaders today, and is the reason why we've asked them to come speak to us. There's a growing popularity and interest in the returns alternative investments are able to provide. Portfolio managers are looking for more illiquid exposure to diversify their portfolios, and investing in alternative investment vehicles is becoming more of a feasible option than it has been in the past. A great example of this, and something you'll hear about today, is how alternatives are becoming more mainstream and available to retail investors, such as through the growth in hedge fund-like regulated mutual fund products. Some of you might be familiar with some of the larger private equity transactions that occurred in 2013, such as Silver Lake's $24.9 billion buyout of Dell, making that the largest transaction since 2008's financial crisis. Or maybe the transaction that Bain Capital partook in along with other several investors in BMC Software's $6.9 billion buyout. Or maybe you're interested in more high-growth venture capital type investments and notice that in 2013, the amount of IPOs totaled 222, up from 128 in 2012. These 222 companies raised a total of $59.4 billion. Average return for IPO investments in 2013 was roughly 36%, with an average first-day pop of 17.3%. These are few of the many exciting things that are happening within alternatives. Many of the topics that will be covered throughout today will be new and unfamiliar to us. But I urge all of you to take it with an open mind and embrace this opportunity to learn more about this fascinating industry. For some of you, this may be the first conference that you've attended, and I can assure you I know exactly what that feels like. Don't let that hinder your ability to network with your colleagues around you. Embrace this experience and enjoy it, because conferences like these don't come around very often. Understand that each and every one of these speakers have been in our place, and understand the emotions we are experiencing now as we begin our journey into the real world, whether that be through our next co-op experience, internship, or full-time job for those of you graduating in May. Don't hesitate to engage yourself in conversation with them, because they're just as excited to meet you. Again, welcome to 2014 CASE, and I hope that you find this conference informative and educational. Please help me in welcoming Hugh Courtney, Dean of the D. Moore McKim School of Business, for a few words.
Well, thank you, Nico, and thank you all for being here today. I'm very excited to be with you. And on behalf of my faculty, staff, student, and alumni colleagues at the D. Moore McKim School of Business and Northeastern University overall, welcome to the second annual Collegiate Alternative Investment Summit. I want to start with a couple of thank yous. One should always start with the thank yous, and particularly appreciative to the student leaders who make this happen now for 2 years in a row. You've met Nico, of course, but the entire CAIS team has put an extraordinary amount of work into this, and they deserve our thanks. So let's take a moment to thank them. I'm particularly thankful because, you know, it is tremendous to be a dean at a place like Northeastern University, in which students take so much ownership and accountability for their educations. This is, in its entirety, a student-led event, and that's what makes it great, as far as I'm concerned, because you will learn so much today, of course, that goes without saying, given the quality of speakers, panelists we have here today. You'll learn a great deal. But for those of you who have been fortunate enough to put your blood, sweat, and tears into making this happen, you know how much you've learned already also, right? So that's part of the process, and I'm very proud of you. I may have overstated a little bit. There is a little bit of faculty support, but even they would suggest that this is a little bit. But I do want to acknowledge Elliot. I see here Elliot Sherman, Dr. Sherman, from the D. Moore McKim School, and Nikki Boyson is here also, I believe, right? Where's Nikki? She was here. I don't see her. But in any event, you all know as well how important Nikki has been to this event, and as has Ann Benware. Ann here, who has taken care of the many logistics to make all of this happen. So I want to thank my colleagues for their support of this. Importantly, I want to give a special thanks to our guest speakers, the professionals who will be spending time with you here today. And just to say to them, again, one thing that's great about being an academic and the dean of a business school is I witness a lot of transformation. And sometimes people from the outside don't understand, for instance, the role that they can play by saying the right thing at the right time in an environment like this that sparks an idea that you follow up with, that you study, that you talk to others about, and in many ways may change the entire path of your life. I mean, I can look back in my own career and both professors and professionals along the way who made me think about something differently that I followed up on, and it changed the way I view what I wanted to do in my life and the impact that I could have. And so you are really giving a great gift here today, Steve and others that will be joining us throughout the day, because I know that you will have a transformative impact on at least some of the folks here today, and I want you to know that. It happens all the time. I see it all the time, so I'm thankful for that. You know, at the DeMoore McKim School, we really like to think of ourselves as a business school that matters. And by that, I mean we're in the business of shaping both academic thought and business practice. They're both important, extremely important. And in fact, we like to call this use-inspired research and teaching. And the idea is that it should be inspired by, no matter how theoretical it is or you know, how applied, it should be driven by issues that matter, that we need to understand better in the business world. And one thing that I've noted as in the finance field in particular is that research and teaching in most business schools focuses disproportionately on what I would call traditional investment vehicles, traditional financial strategies, traditional financial markets. And in essence, business schools perhaps are a little bit behind usage in terms of research and teaching on the alternative investment space. But I know that one of the reasons you all are here today is you realize that, right? That we need to understand, you want to understand global markets today, global investment strategies, you really need to understand private equity, hedge funds, venture capitals, all kinds of interesting alternate investment vehicles that are increasingly playing a much more important role in how firms capitalize themselves, how global financial markets work on the investment strategy, options that are open to private investors and corporations, and importantly, to the career paths that all of you might follow. So today, what we're really trying to do is create greater exposure, plant the seed, an idea that you'll follow up with that may lead to a new career opportunity, a new research opportunity, a new way of thinking about our global market. That may seem like a ambitious goal, but I guarantee it will happen. Open your minds, listen, engage, ask questions, as Nico said, engage with the panelists, and all of you can leave with something that will change the way you think about the world in some way that I hope will lead to some follow-up and something good in your life. So get at it, right? Engage yourself. Have fun, dig in, get to know one another, ask questions, because the upside is tremendous here today. It's all here in place. Let's have a wonderful day together. And with that, one more round of thank yous to the CAIS team and our speakers, and we'll get started. Thanks, everyone.